Hey guys, it's Mr. Walker here, and welcome to an introduction to Math Talks. I want to take a few minutes to talk to you guys about what Math Talks are, what we're looking for and why we're doing them, as well as how you can actually complete them within the course. So thank you guys for joining me, and let's jump into why we should talk about math. So why are we talking about math this year? Well, it does hit on some of the Florida math standards that we're looking to master this year, and here they are listed here. We want to make sense of problems and persevere in solving them, construct valuable arguments and critique others' reasonings, model with mathematics, and attend to precision. These are all kind of like the standards that we're working towards, like I said, mastering. But really, when you talk about math, overall, you're gaining a better understanding of what it is that you are doing. So that's why we engage in these math talks, to not only meet these standards, but really kind of cement in our brains the steps, the procedures, the strategies that we're taking to problem solve. It helps us to understand them even better and apply them even more when we can explain them back to somebody else. So that's why we're doing Math Talks. So what does a Math Talk mean? Well, to complete a Math Talk, there's a couple things we're going to keep in mind. We're going to be following that RDW, or the Read, Draw, Write strategy. Okay, so you're going to read the problem, you're going to draw some sort of picture, and then you're going to write an equation or a statement that helps us to solve the problem. So mathematicians and teachers, they suggest that a simple process that's applicable to all grades. This is that process, that read, draw, write process. So we're going to read, we're going to draw and label stuff, we're going to write an equation, and then we're going to write a word sentence or a statement or something that tells us what we're going to do and the steps that we're going to take. Right? To go into this a little bit further, the more students participate in reasoning through the problems with a kind of a systematic approach, the more they internalize those behaviors and thought process. So this is just a really wordy way of saying that the more you do this, the more you participate in explaining how you solved problems, the more that you're going to automatically kind of do those things and go through that thought process every time you're tasked with solving a math problem, especially those 2 or 3 step word problems. You want to start to think to yourself, what do I see? What am I actually reading in this problem? Can I draw something based on this? And what conclusions can I make from the drawing that I have? So all of these things are going to be really important, and we're going to start to hopefully internalize these, and these thoughts should be automatic when we're solving a math problem. So what does a math talk look like? Let's talk a little bit about that. So throughout the course, you're going to be given application problems, okay? And that's where we want you to engage in this math talk. So this application problem might look something like this, right? Farmer Jim keeps 12 hens in every coop. If Farmer Jim has 20 coops, how many hens does he have in all? And if every hen lays 9 eggs on Monday, how many eggs will Farmer Jim collect on Monday? Pretty lengthy problem here. It's got a couple of steps to it, a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different operations going on here. And on top of that, it also says to explain your reasoning using words, numbers, or pictures. So that's what we're kind of looking at here and what we're going through. So typically, you might write something like this. Farmer Jim has 240 hens, and on Monday, Farmer Jim will collect 2,160 eggs. Okay, not wrong, right? Those answers are correct, and they're actually written in a good sentence that tells us exactly what we're looking for. But as far as a math talk goes, we want a little bit more than that. It's great that you can tell me an answer and that your answer is correct, but I want to know how you got there. How did you get to that answer? So in addition to having that answer, we might want to add in something like this. So this is the actual strategy that we use to solve the problem. So to find the 12 hens in every coop and the 20 coops, we did 20 times 12, right? And they used a distributive property here and the area model to kind of model this out. So you're doing 20 times 10, 20 times 2, and adding those together. I can see that very clearly in the work that they wrote out here. And then the same thing with the 9 eggs on Monday. We have the 240 hens, we're multiplying them by 9, and that's going to get our answer there. So this, on top of your actual answers, helps to paint a better picture of what it is that we're actually solving and what are the strategies that we're using. But we want even a little bit more than this, okay? So in the math talk, this would look great as far as a visual goes, but we would also want that explanation, that kind of walk through the process like I did here. We took the 20 coops, multiplied them by the 12 hens in every coop, and that way we got 240 hens. Then we took that 240 hens, multiplied it by 9. I used the distributive property here in the area model to kind of help me do that. And when we do that, we get 2,160 eggs. And then we have the total answer here at the bottom. So not only do we want the answers, not only do we want this strategy or steps or whatever in there as well, but we also want that explanation, that verbal sort of explanation that shows us, okay? And on top of this, if you really wanted to get even further into it, you could even draw out what you thought at first. Remember that read, draw, write process. So you read the problem, maybe you sketched out a tape diagram that had the 20 coops and the 12 hens in every coop, and you're going to do that 12 hens 20 times. However you're going to lay out the problem to get you thinking about what it is you need to do, then you actually have the strategy over here to the right that we're looking at and the final answer at the bottom. All of those things are good, paired with your verbal explanation of what it is that you did and walking us through the steps, okay? Now, how do you go about doing this? What is it actually going to, or how can you actually do this and turn it in Canvas? Well, lucky for you guys, there's a bunch of different ways that we can actually go about recording this math talk to be able to turn it in. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So when you come to an application problem in your course, okay, this is where we're going to have you talk through some math, okay? So the application problem is right here, okay? Jack and Kevin are creating a mosaic, blah, 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 blah. You get the idea, okay? When you come down to actually submit your application problem, you're going to click here and reply. So there's a few ways, a few options that you have, and one of them is right in here. It's the media tool right within Canvas. So if I hit record right here, I can either record media or I can upload media. So there you go, you see me. Hello, here I am. So I can hit record right here. I can start recording and I can hold up like piece of paper and I can walk through the steps that I took to solve the answer. You get the idea. I'm going to go through all the steps, not only what I read, but what I drew out, the solutions that I had, and my written explanation as well. All of those things will be included in here, and I'm going to kind of talk through it, and I could just talk to it right to the camera like I'm doing here. It's one option you have, okay? You can also upload media. So if you have a smartphone or a tablet or something like that, and maybe a parent or learning guide, brother, sister, something can record you actually writing on a piece of paper and writing your explanation down and solving it that way and walking us through the steps. That's something else you could use to submit. You could record it on your phone and then submit that file here. Select the video file and submit it. We do have access to an app called EduCreations, which you can use on an iPad, and you can walk through and it will record your screen as you're drawing stuff and writing stuff. It will record your screen and your voice at the same time, and then you could submit that recording into Canvas as well. And there's more information found in another video on EduCreations, and I will try to link that in the comments and in the description here so you guys can find that if you'd like. So right off the bat there, you have like 3 different options. You can record right within Canvas using the media tools here. You can record on a secondary device and upload your media here. Or you can use an app like EduCreations, which we have a license to, or any other kind of app or recording process that you guys have. Whatever you feel comfortable with and you feel comfortable with recording and submitting within Canvas. However you complete them, you are going to need to submit it in Canvas. So if you record it on another site and you have like a link, or you can upload the file or whatever it is, that's perfectly fine as long as we can get it back here to Canvas. Now, I just want to kind of remind you guys or go over with you guys that like we're not expecting Oscar-worthy performances from all of these, okay? They don't need to be perfect. You can make mistakes. You can flub over your words. You can go back and redo something. That's totally fine. We want to see your authentic thinking in all of these math talks that you submit for these application problems, okay? Don't worry about making it the best recording ever. If there's brothers or sisters yelling in the background, if there's dogs barking, whatever. As long as we can hear you and see how you solve the problem, that's what we're looking for. And that's the most important part of this, okay? So hopefully this helps to get you started with Math Talks, helps to build your understanding a little bit. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to me, reach out to your teacher, reach out to whoever, learning guide, whatever, to get the help that you need. But we are super excited to see what you guys can accomplish with these Math Talks. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for a little bit as we talked about Math Talks and solving those application problems. All right, guys, have a good rest of your day and go Math Talks.